Long after the clash of wills and the echoes of mortal defiance fade, the chronicles mark this moment with trembling ink. Martial God Asura, chapter 453, chapter 454, tells of a reckoning in the heart of the Sword God Valley, where Murong Yu's consciousness has leapt into the ancient vessel of the old ancestor, instantly amplifying a power that few could endure. Ling's eyes glisten with fear, Zhang Tianyi's fists tighten in helpless awe, and Chu Feng's defiance burns hotter than the blade of light now threatening them. Legends of the heaven realm whisper of barriers few can surpass. And yet here, in these harrowing moments, young warriors face the unbearable weight of an elder's wrath. The air quivers with impending violence, and each heartbeat seems a countdown to a torment that could shatter both flesh and spirit. How far will courage stretch before it snaps? What will the cost be when power of this magnitude collides with youthful audacity? The valley waits, silent but hungry for the next act of destiny to unfold. The wind howled across the jagged peaks, carrying whispers of death and power, as a shadow of dread fell upon the three young cultivators. Impossible. Murong Yu's consciousness, it can transfer. Ling's voice trembled, disbelief etched into her features. Her heart pounded with raw fear, the kind that gnaws at the bones of even the bravest. Murong Feng's essence had found refuge in another body, a vessel once thought humble. And with that, his cultivation surged from the 6th to the 7th level of the heaven realm in a heartbeat. The very air seemed to shiver under the weight of this new power. Zhang Tianyi's brow knitted tightly, unease crawling up his spine. How can this be? He's only at the 7th level, yet the pressure he radiates, it eclipses Murong Feng himself. The truth was unavoidable. Though Murong Feng's consciousness had vanished, the old ancestor of the Sword God Valley now exuded an aura far more oppressive than any Murong Feng had projected. The 7th level of the heaven realm was a threshold, a boundary the young and unprepared could not confront without peril. Legends spoke of martial lords, beings who could unmake mountains, divert rivers, and bend the very sky to their will. They were the pinnacle of the heaven realm, far beyond the spirit, origin, or profound realms. To ascend past the 6th level was to brush against the edge of divinity itself. Few could surpass it, for each step demanded more than mere strength. It required an innate brilliance, a soul tempered by fire and patience. And above the 7th, the 8th and 9th levels loomed like distant stars, untouchable, the martial lord realm itself a fabled pinnacle that no soul in the 9 provinces had yet reached. Zhang Tianyi, Chu Feng, and Ling felt this pressure pressing upon them, suffocating, absolute. They had glimpsed the might of the 7th level, and it left them humbled, aware that they faced a force beyond their current reckoning. A booming, cruel laughter shattered the tension. The old ancestor of the Sword God Valley's voice cut through the mountain air. Ha ha ha! Chu Feng, Ling, Zhang Tianyi, you were arrogant, weren't you? Threatening my life, my son, my clan, and now? Where are the roars of defiance that dared challenge me? His eyes gleamed with predatory delight, cold and merciless, a smile twisting his ancient features into something sinister. You old relic, Zhang Tianyi spat, voice sharp as a blade. Your ancestor's power is all you have. Without it, what are you? A pile of dust, a fraud hiding behind a name. Fearless, he met the old master's gaze, mocking him with a courage that bordered on madness. The ancient man's anger flared like wildfire. With a flick of his wrist, a blade of searing light, 3 feet of deadly brilliance, shot from his palm, striking Zhang Tianyi's chest with a sickening pucci. Blood stained the air, yet the young cultivator laughed, defiance burning hotter than pain. Kill me faster. If your ancestor's power fades, you'll wish you had. Rage contorted the old man's face as he aimed directly at Zhang Tianyi's dantian, intent on crushing his cultivation. Brat, continue your insolence, and I'll shatter your essence. But before he could act, Chu Feng's roar split the tension like lightning. Shameless old man, you swagger on your ancestor's strength, yet have you forgotten the humiliation you once suffered? Stumbling, rolling, fleeing for your life? Feigning death to escape an enemy? Your so-called years of cultivation? Wasted. You are nothing but a weak old dog. Chu Feng's words cut deep, each insult a sharp strike against the pride and fury of the Sword God Valley's progenitor. The elder's face swirled from purple to blue, hands trembling as he directed his blade of light at Chu Feng. You, impatient fool, I intended to deal with you later, but your tongue craves death now, he seethed. Come then, if you dare, try it! I want to see if you can kill me. Chu Feng laughed, eyes glittering with contempt. The old master's veins throbbed with fury, his pride assaulted by the audacity of youth. From the side, the head of the Sword God Valley hissed, Father, strike now while your ancestors' power remains. Don't be deceived by their delay tactics. Chu Feng smirked coldly, adding fuel to the fire. Listen to your son and strike. Without your ancestors' strength, you are nothing. Even with closed eyes, Senior Zhang could defeat you. The old ancestor struck his son with a thunderous slap, silencing him instantly, then turned his full gaze upon Chu Feng. Darkness and malice curled from the corners of his mouth. Chu Feng, I see your schemes. You seek to enrage me, to endure torture, and then counterattack when my ancestors' power fades. Do you think me blind to your plans? His hand shifted toward Ling, cruel intent glinting in his eyes. Lifting her delicate jaw, he let his gaze linger with unsettling interest. Ah! Such beauty. Imagine how your face would bloom with crimson, with a few cuts here and there. How dare you? Chu Feng's voice cracked, fury and dread mingling in his heart. His fearless demeanor shattered instantly at the thought of harm coming to Ling. All previous contempt for the heavens and earth was swallowed by a protective, roaring wrath. He would not, could not, allow this. The old ancestor's laughter rolled like thunder, echoing through the peaks. In a heartbeat, his immense hand struck, leaving a deep red imprint upon Ling's pale, smooth cheek, marking the cruel beginning of her torment. The air was thick with tension, and the world seemed to hold its breath. You're asking for death. The words hadn't even fully left his lips before Chu Feng's fury erupted like a storm unleashed upon the mountains. His eyes darkened, flickering with a malevolent force that seemed to gnaw at the very sky. The scowl on his face twisted him into something monstrous, a predator cornered, but far from defeated. Yet no matter how violently he struggled, the invisible bonds that held him refused to yield. He could do nothing but watch as his beloved, Ling, was struck, the blow landing with cruel precision. Helplessness clawed at his chest, and then something unimaginable began to stir within him. Black mist seeped into his eyes, not mere shadows, but a suffocating, almost tangible killing intent. Dense, oppressive, and primal, Chu Feng had never known such raw, lethal power coursing through him. The old ancestor of the Sword God Valley, standing before him, seemed entirely unmoved, smiling as though he perceived none of the storm brewing within Chu Feng. With a flick of his arm, the blade of light in his hand surged toward Ling's face. Boom! But before it could strike, Chu Feng's own aura erupted violently. A force so immense tore through the valley that both the ancient patriarch and the head of the Sword God Valley were flung backwards, their cries of pain swallowed by the wind as they collided with the terrain thousands of meters away. What is this? This brat, how is this possible? They watched in disbelief as Chu Feng's eyes fully turned black, glimmering with a bestial, almost demonic hunger. No longer human, no longer monster, his gaze alone could freeze the blood of any who dared meet it. Blue and golden lightning coiled around him, intertwining with crackling ferocity. Sparks danced wildly, but the power beneath them was not mere elemental display. It was ancient, terrifying, as though two colossal beasts had manifested from the heavens, ready to rend the world apart. Boom! The heavens themselves seemed to fracture. From above, a deafening explosion thundered, and black clouds roiled into being, swallowing the sun and plunging the Sword God Valley into unnatural darkness. In mere moments, the sky was obscured, stretching its shadow across the land like a suffocating shroud. Only the intertwined lightning, like twin dragons of wrath, lit the scene, casting eerie illumination on Chu Feng's sinister form. His presence radiated a horror that seemed beyond description, enough to make the bravest warriors shiver in instinctive dread. Why? Why did you harm her? Chu Feng's voice finally cut through the storm. It was calm, yet laced with a murderous hunger that made it feel less like human speech and more like the roar of a vengeful spirit. How dare you touch her? The old ancestor's face paled. What are you? What kind of monster? His voice trembled despite his desperate efforts to maintain composure. Though he wielded the power of a 7th-level heaven realm cultivator, the overwhelming aura emanating from a 1st-level heaven realm, Youth seemed to mock his understanding of reality. Refusing to accept the impossible, the old ancestor gathered every ounce of his cultivation, his aura surging to fill the heavens. The ground trembled as he unleashed the rank 7 martial skill of the Sword God Valley, the Heaven Battling Sword, a technique forged by the legendary Murong Yu himself. A sword of pure light, hundreds of meters long, materialized in the sky. Its presence alone made hearts falter. The might it carried could have obliterated all in the valley, leaving naught but ruin. Boom! The sword lunged toward Chu Feng with light-speed swiftness, carrying devastation in its wake. Ling and Zhang Tianyi's faces drained of color, the sheer force threatening to erase them from existence. Yet, as the blade neared, the golden lightning around Chu Feng shot forth like a divine dragon in flight, dancing and twisting with terrifying beauty. Cracks formed in the air itself, unable to withstand its might. Bang! Where lightning met sword, the colossal blade shattered into countless fragments, raining down like shards of fallen stars. The night, already suffused with darkness, blazed with transient light. The head of the Sword God Valley cried out, blood spraying from his mouth, marking the heavy toll of a strike that should have guaranteed victory. Yet he had failed utterly, his attack neutralized, his strength turning against him. How is this possible? He staggered, eyes wide, the aura retreating to the 6th level in terror. Chu Feng's presence was no longer merely formidable, it was incomprehensible. A being of such power, such bloodlust, had never been witnessed in a lifetime. It was as if the very concept of human limitation had been shattered. Around them, fear rooted every onlooker. Whispers rose in almost every heart. Was Chu Feng even human? Or had a demon from the depths of legend taken mortal form? The Sword God Valley trembled beneath his might, the very earth itself seeming to acknowledge the birth of a force that might one day rival heaven.